Hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the virtual session with Kwantlen Polytechnic University. My name is Wally Kustono, Director of the Canadian Education International Indonesia. We are a not-for-profit foundation mandated by the Embassy of Canada to promote Canadian education in Indonesia. So we are really glad to have you, all of you here with us this morning. If this is not the first time that you have met me and we have known each other, of course, I wish everyone great holiday. Maybe getting busy again as we are approaching the new academic year. If it's the first time we meet, it's also our pleasure, and I encourage you to get in touch with CEI Indonesia or with me, and we can explore any collaboration or any activities that we can work out together to promote Canadian education and also benefit your school or your agency. So again, welcome to all high school counselors and representatives, as well as agent representatives at this virtual session. You can anticipate that we will have more events like this as we progress through the year. In fact, there is another virtual session already scheduled at the end of this month with another Canadian institution. But today, I'm really pleased to introduce everyone to Kwantlen Polytechnic University. And we are actually here with Mr. Koi Chuang, who is the International Recruitment Coordinator for Southeast Asia and Oceania region. Koi, would you like to say hi to our guests this morning?
Hi, good morning. Thank you, Welly, for the introduction. Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Chloe, and as Welly has introduced, I am the international recruiter for Kwantlen Polytechnic University. I'm very happy to be here today, especially I'm still in the office, so I'm technically on campus giving this presentation. And the reason is because I also want to escape the heat that is going around in Vancouver. So we have had a very extreme heat for the past couple of days, but it's supposed to get better tomorrow. So today is the last day of the heat. But yeah, I'm glad to be here.
That's great, Koi. I hope things are getting for the better. It's very strange. In fact, in Indonesia now, we are getting more rain in the last
Oh,
couple of days. So it's
oh.
definitely interesting weather going around the world. But
Right.
hopefully things are gonna be all the better, and we all can enjoy the summer. So, Koi, thank you so much again for being here. I think a lot of people are probably interested with the name of the institution, Polytechnic University, right? A lot of people know about university, and some people know about Polytechnic, but your institution offers the best of both forms. So I'm sure everyone will be interested to know more about how that works and the programs that you offer and how your institution can be a great place to study for international students from Indonesia. So without further ado, I'd like you to begin the virtual session. So thank you very much, Boy. The screen is all yours. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, thank you, Welly. Okay, so I'm going to start sharing my screen first. All right. Hello again, everyone. So welcome to KPU presentation. So we are going through our slides. So first of all, to begin with, we're going to talk briefly about the university as a whole, and then I'm going to go into the faculty and the programs that we offer here, and then we will get to the admission part. And then I will mention any scholarships or any promotion or any benefit that we are offering to students, especially from Indonesia. Okay, so first of all, let's get to know the name. So we are Kwantlen Polytechnic University. So we are Canada's only polytechnic university. And for polytechnic, usually when people talk about it, they tend to think of, things like trades or tech programs, engineering, things like that, right? However, the polytechnic in this context refers to practical learning, apply learning, and our number one goal is to educate students, but also to train them to be ready for the job market upon their completion of their studies, right? So Polytechnic here basically just implies that we are an applied learning institution as compared to other research-intensive universities. So though both of these education institutions have their own benefits, we'll get to why Polytechnic might be better for certain students. So this is definitely something that not to miss out on just because of the name, but rather what the students feel like they are fitted in the study environment and where they can thrive. So I'm going to skip this video because we all saw it at the beginning. Okay, so let's talk about location. All right, so before you is the map of what we call Metro Vancouver. I believe Jakarta is the same. So we are consisted of 21 smaller cities, that make up the whole Metro Vancouver area. For KBU, we are located in 3 cities in the metro. So we are in Richmond, we are in Surrey, and then in Langley. So most of our students would come to study at Richmond or Surrey, right? Especially for Indonesian students, where most of our Indonesian students are undergrad students. So they would come to do an undergraduate program at Richmond or at Surrey, depending on their program. So we are very well connected throughout the whole area, either by public transit or by the university-run shuttle bus that is completely free to students, to travel between KBU Surrey to KBU Tech and KBU Langley, because public transit connecting those 3 locations is not very convenient. So that's why we run this shuttle bus. But the other places are well connected by the SkyTrain or the Rapid bus, which is a faster bus. So it's pretty convenient to go to the other 3 locations. So next, I'm going to show you a few slides of our campus. So the first one would be the part of the KBU Richmond campus. This is the renowned School of Design, the Wilson School of Design. I have to say that most of our international students from Indonesia apply to programs in this school, in this faculty. Because so KBU, I have the opportunity and the privilege to travel to Indonesia once or twice a year, and then to promote KBU. And the first pick of the programs that we really try to promote to students, is our design programs, because they are considered some of the best in the country, if not the world. So I will go into the details later, but this is a brand new building that is co-invested by KBU itself, the government, because we are a public university, and also Lululemon, which is, we all know Lululemon, and the name comes from the donor, which is Chip Wilson. He is the founder of Lululemon, and he used to study at KBU. So that's why he's very passionate about KBU. We also run, we have a lot of farms and greenhouses. So this is to support students who study horticulture program or a sustainable agriculture. We are very hands-on and practical. So that's why not only do the students study in class, but they will apply what they learn in the real world as well. So they will get their hands dirty. They try to do everything and know the whole process, not just things that are mentioned in the textbook. Brewing lab. So we offer some unique programs. This is one example. This is a program combined of chemistry and business for those who want into crafting beer. So this is our tech campus. We offer the diploma in mechatronics here on this campus. And this is our KPU Surrey main campus. This is the main building. And KPU Langley. All right. Okay, so let's talk about the faculties, the programs that we offer. So we have in total 7 faculties, including the first one, which is called academic preparedness. So this is essentially an ESL department. So if you have students who need a little bit help with English because they didn't score enough IELTS or Duolingo or TOEFL for direct entry into an undergraduate program at KPU, we will be glad to offer the KPU Pathway Program, which is equivalent to academic English preparation for them so that they can improve their English before they enter the main program. We also have Faculty of Arts. This is where the programs like journalism, psychology are housed. Next is business. We have a design school, as you just talked about. We have a faculty of health. We have the faculty of science. And lastly, the faculty of trades. Okay, so now let's go over the programs offered in Faculty of Arts. So Faculty of Arts is basically arts plus social sciences. So in this faculty, we offer programs like anthropology, fine art, or psychology. We offer a few options for psychology, like the Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science. It really depends on the student's goal, like whether they want to just finish the bachelor's degree and then go to work, not necessarily in psychology field, or they cannot become a psychologist just based on the bachelor's degree, because psychologist is considered a doctor, so they have to do their PhD, right? But with the Bachelor of Art in Psychology, they can easily go into any kind of organization or business because the skills that they learn in the program are transferable, right? So they become an HR, a human resources specialist. They can go work for the government, as a support social work, not a social worker, but to support the work of those, social workers or counselors because they have the knowledge in psychology to do that. But if someone wants to go into medical field, then they would consider the Bachelor of Science in Psychology. And the reason is, as a Bachelor of Science, we offer other sciences like biology, chemistry, things like that, which are all prerequisites for medical school admission, right? So the Bachelor of Science would be, and neuroscience as well. So they will study a little bit of that in the Bachelor of Science in Psychology, right? So it really depends on the student's goal, what they want to do with it. If they want to do a PhD in psychology after the bachelor's, then we have the Bachelor of Applied Arts in Psychology. So this has a research component in the bachelor's degree program. So if they complete that, they will have the qualification and meet the requirement for PhD admission. Right. So as you can see, it's flexible. It really depends on what the student wants. But the programs that I want to highlight here would be, we offer a group of program called Entertainment Arts, or ENTA for short. So things like advanced 3D animation or virtual production or game development, like those cool and trendy programs. So we offer that. The job market in Vancouver and in Toronto is good for those graduates from those fields. So like for a career in entertainment art, it's a fast progression career. So what I mean is the student can start very low at the entry level, of course, with any fresh graduate, but they will move on very quickly, climb the ladder in their industry very quickly. Comes with it is the salary increases very quickly compared to other traditional programs. So, like if you have someone who want to work in the creative field, if they want to become a creative or a digital artist, then these ENTA programs are really suitable for them. And also we have a very good criminology program. So criminology program, we offer a co-op option at KBU. If you have someone who wants to study sort of like law, but this is not law because law as medicine, they have to go to the professional school after the bachelor's degree. But with the criminology, it'll make it a perfect pre-law degree. So they can apply to law school after criminology, or they can just stop and then find work because it's a pretty practical program. And then we also have journalism. For journalism, we are the only bachelor's degree of journalism in Vancouver, right? So it's our teachers are also journalists in their field. So students will be able to learn very hands-on knowledge, and they will be able to learn a lot more from people actually working, journalists for local news or global news, and have access to that resource in the classroom. Okay, I am going to the next slide. So this is the entertainment arts that I talked about. I already went into some details about these programs, so I'm not going to repeat myself here. But think of it this way. So for animation, you don't need to be super creative to do this job well, because for any of this job, except for the game development, where the creative skill is a lot more relevant, for animation and for virtual production, students will learn to become more of a technician. Right? So they don't need to come up with any design concepts because those will be provided to them, but their job is to animate the concept and make it a lot more lively, a lot more approachable. So you see, like in animation movies or like games, they are very cute looking. They are very, it's very close to real life. So that is the job of an animation artist or animation technician. So our professors are in the ENTA programs are all working professionals as well. So these are some of the projects that they have worked on. Okay, so let's now move on to the Melville School of Business. So essentially, this is a faculty of business, and KBU has one of the biggest faculties of business in Western Canada. So every year, about 10,000 students, begin their studies or continue their studies in the school of business at KBU. So we offer 4 bachelor degree programs. We just call it the Bachelor of Business Administration, but we have 4 specializations. We have accounting, marketing management, human resources management, and entrepreneur leadership. Okay, so which one to choose from? And of course, the business programs are always very in high demand. A lot of students at a young age, they don't know what they want to do, so they feel like doing a business program would be the safe bet for them because it's pretty volatile, it's pretty flexible, and they can go into many different fields with the business degree. So accounting has a very good job prospects in BC as well as across Canada. I think in the next 5 years, there are thousands of jobs required for accounting graduates. So if you have some students who are good with math, who want to do accounting, then the BBA accounting will be really good. And the accounting at KPU is the only program in at least the Metro Vancouver, that use case like studies, right? So case education. So we pioneer our BBA accounting in that way. I'm not sure if the other universities have followed, but we were definitely, offer this unique way of learning that other institutions might not, offer yet. Okay, so and we also offer many other like 2-year diploma program in general business, like business management, or we offer more unique program like public relations, right? So the good thing about KBU is because we offer many options and many credentials, and they can combine the credential to make their education as fulfilling as needed, or like whatever skill that they want to learn. For example, I know some students will start at KBU with a 2-year diploma in public relations, but later on they will ladder that into a BBA in marketing management because the two fields are very related and they get both credentials, right? So and the important thing is because the credits are all transferred, right? Transferable between programs. Well, not all programs, but certain programs at KPU, especially if the programs are within the same faculty. That's yeah, so that gives the student flexibility to do that. Also in the School of Business, and these two programs are pretty popular among international students and from Indonesia as well. We have the 2-year Computer Information Systems Diploma, and then we offer the 4-year bachelor's degree in information technology. So we still offer the traditional information technology because we believe that for things like cybersecurity, network administration, so those two are the specializations in our program here, they would never go out of date, right? The skills are always needed in demand, right? So most of our graduates in IT or in computer information systems, they usually get jobs before they graduate. And it makes sense because IT and CIS are always on the high demand jobs in BC, because in BC, if you Google, you can search for a list of jobs that are in high demand for BC, meaning that in the near future, there are great job prospect for those who are in the field, right? So CIS and IT. Oh, so this is just example of students' work. So this is from an accounting student. So they had to do the numbers as if it's a real company. They need to, all of the Excel you see here, all the templates, all the formulas, essentially. These are all made by students. And basically they need to come up, like all of the function in Excel that I might not even be familiar with. But if you look at this, you can see that it's totally applicable to if you run a small to medium business, you can easily use some of these templates to basically for your company, right? If you need to calculate payroll, like salary or whatever, it's all here. So the students at the end of their program, they need to be able to come up with something that is applicable to the real world. And this is one example of that. So at KPU, besides the undergraduate programs, we do also offer some postgraduate programs. We call it the post-baccalaureate program and the graduate diploma. We do not offer any master's program yet. So master's program is in the work. However, as a public institution in BC, and BC is a very conservative province, meaning that for any approval to happen, the province take a very good look at what the programs, what programs the institutions offer. Right? So it goes through a very lengthy and strict process before it can be approved. So right now, so these are the programs that we offer. I'll tell you the general information about these. All of these programs are 2 years in duration. So meaning that completing these programs, the students will be able to maximize their 3-year work permit, PGWP, after they graduate. The second great thing about these programs is that even though they are structured to be 2 years, they don't carry a lot of credit in the program. We only put postgraduate credits or courses into these programs. Some other institutions might have designed a program where they combine some undergraduate and postgraduate courses to make the program a little bit longer. But for us, we only condense these programs with the postgraduate credits, right? So, and in Canada, tuition fees are calculated by the number of credits that the student study, essentially, per semester, right? So I'll give you an example. For the post-baccalaureate program in operations and supply chain management, which is our most popular program, it has 33 credits. The total tuition fees for the program is $27,000 for 2 years, right? So it works out to be just under $14,000 a year for a post-baccalaureate diploma program. So this is really, the price point is really affordable. It's a good education. We are public. The quality is assured by the government. There's nothing to worry about there, right? We also have one post-baccalaureate program in design, which is called Technical Apparel Design. And this is a really cool program. The students do not need to have any fashion design experience. They don't even need to know how to sew because they will learn in the program. But what is great about the program is that it will introduce them to the world of technical apparel in Canada. Vancouver is a great hub for technical apparel industry, for that industry, right? Companies like Lululemon, Arc'teryx, Aritzia, all those companies are based here, and they require a lot. What require is not the right term, but basically they need a lot of workers in this field. There are 300 companies in total, like large and small, in technical apparel. So think about technical apparel as like working with new fabric or material and make it a little bit better to improve our daily life. So think about the fabric that firefighters use on their uniform, like how to make it lighter, yet they have to be more fire resistant and heat resistant, right? So that is a job of technical apparel design. You can think of it as a little bit of fashion design, a little bit of product design, a little bit of research, because you need to go into researching, like the fabric and the threads, how to make it a little more durable, things like that. So it's a really good program offered by the School of Design, of course. So if your student is, who is passionate about this field, you can introduce this program to them. If they already have a bachelor's degree back in Indonesia or anywhere else. Let's take an opportunity to talk about co-op quickly here. So these are the programs that are that have the co-op option at KPU. So, accounting, computer aid design, computer information systems, criminology, entrepreneur leadership, information technology, marketing, operation supply chain management, and public relations. So cooperative education basically means that they will take time away from their studies, and then they will go to work for a company full-time for a semester, or for 2 semesters or 3 semesters, right? If they want their degree, the degree diploma, to have co-op on the degree, they have to complete at least 3 terms, meaning 1 full year of co-op. If they just want to get some experience and they just want to add, that little experience that they gain into their CV, then they can also do it over 1 term or 2 terms. And my apology, I should not say little experience. What I meant was the the Canadian experience that they wanted to add to their CV, because how important it is to have the Canadian experience to find a good job in Canada. The Canadian experience not only concerned with the technical skills like how to do accounting or how to do marketing, it has a lot more to do with understanding the culture, understanding the way of communication among Canadians, understand the subtle implications of the the workplace culture, right? Basically, how to be a supportive employee in the company. So that is what the Canadian experience requirement is about, right? So co-op will give them that opportunity. All right, so let's talk about School of Design. The Wilson School of Design has 4 bachelor's degree program. Fashion and technology. The reason why we don't call it fashion design is because it's beyond the design aspect of fashion design. Of course, the student will learn to design clothing and whatnot. However, we incorporate technology into the program because we want to make so fashion is the trend is always evolving, right? So right now the trend is to incorporate fashion and technology, because not only do people want to wear beautiful clothing these days, they want them to be comfortable as well. They want to do sport in them. They want to have something that is casual or formal. However, the clothing must provide flexibility, must provide comfort, and that's where the technology part comes into play here. Because you can create something really beautiful, but if it's not functional or comfortable, people are not going to wear them, right? So that's what fashion and technology is about. We have the fashion marketing diploma. Yesterday, I just had the opportunity to meet the parents, well, 2 parents and the student from Indonesia who are here visiting. And they just dropped by our Wilson School of Design. They made appointment with me months in advance because they already knew their schedule at that time. They came over to talk to me about I showed them the School of Design, showed them the course list for fashion marketing. So this is for someone who want to work in the fashion. It's a business program essentially, but tailored to the fashion industry. Next, if you are someone who or your student is someone who doesn't have any design knowledge or skills, they don't have a portfolio or they don't have any sketchbook, to include in their portfolio as part of the admission requirements, they can start with the foundations in design. So foundations in design is, as the name suggests, we are going to teach them the foundations of design, the skills, how to sew, how to make things. And the end goal of the fashion foundation in design is at the end of the 1-year program. They will have their portfolio ready for admission into the fashion and technology program or any other programs at KPU, because this is not a pathway program. Admission to the bachelor's degree program is never guaranteed, very highly competitive. Usually for our design degrees, the competition is quite high. We receive hundreds of applications every year, and we can only admit about 20 to 22 students per program. And these programs only have 1 intake a year as well. So you have to compete with other qualified candidates. Next is graphic design for marketing. So this is a combination between graphic design and marketing, which is a really cool program. I don't think I need to explain, but if you think about advertising, like making visuals, beautiful visuals, appealing, what's the word? Like posters or commercials, basically graphic design would be, for those who are interested in that career. Interior design at KPU is the longest running interior design in British Columbia. So it is accredited by the Interior Design Association of Canada, very highly regarded, very competitive to get into. Fashion technology is the number 1, the hardest to get into. Next would be interior design. And next will be graphic design before we get to the last degree program with the least competition, which is product design. But I think product design is a really cool program because it applies to everything. Like for fashion design, it's mostly about fashion. But if you do product design, we have had students from product design who complete, like who would go on to do stuff that is directly related to fashion. Like they would come up with things where people can wear so that they can cycle, a little bit better. So it's part of fashion design, right? Or they can come up with an avalanche tent for those who go skiing and get stuck in the avalanche so that they can protect themselves. So product design is a really practical program, I think. And that is, that is and you can apply the skill to many, many fields in real world, right? And it has a least competition. So I usually recommend people who don't get into the other three programs to try product design. And some of them did get into product design this year. I think one student from Indonesia actually got into product design. Technical apparel design, I talked about it a little bit before. And the last program would be the front-end development for interactive applications. This is a new program starting this fall. It's a 2-year diploma. So basically it's about coding, making websites. And a little bit of business education in here as well, but mostly on the coding part. So this is the avalanche airbag vest I just talked about. So this will give the skier some breathing room while waiting for rescue. Very practical. Okay, let's move on to Faculty of Health. For health, we do not offer a lot of programs to international students. We have a lot of nursing programs, but unfortunately, we do not have the capacity to offer to international students yet. But right now, we offer the traditional Chinese medicine acupuncture. That is a 2-year diploma. We offer the healthcare assistant program, which is a 1-year program, and the Bachelor of Psychiatric Nursing in the near future. Also, in the near future, we will be launching a brand new bachelor degree in traditional Chinese medicine. So acupuncture is part of it, and that's why it's a 2-year program. But once the bachelor's degree program, hopefully next fall, once that is introduced or launched, that will cover not only acupuncture, but also herbs prescription, like because they're sort of becoming a traditional Chinese doctor, right? So they would be able to prescribe medicine as in herbs and also deliver acupuncture. All right, so the program, the next faculty is the Faculty of Science and Horticulture. The new name is just Faculty of Science, right? So in this program, of course, we talk about biology or chemistry, mathematics, physics. The only thing I want to stress here is that our programs are very practical, right? They are not research-based science degrees. They are practical degrees. This does not mean that after completing the degree, the student cannot go on to do higher education, let's say a master's or a PhD. They can totally do so. But if they want to stop their education at the bachelor's degree, they can easily use what they learn and get a job because our programs are job oriented. I'll give you an example. Let's say physics for modern technology, right? So physics for modern technology, students will learn all things about physics, but in an applicable way. So they will learn about quantum physics. They will learn about lighting. They will learn about sound engineering. They will learn about telecommunications, right? But all of these things would need to be applied somewhere, and that's what they will learn in the program. So I also had a campus tour for an Indonesian prospective student a couple of weeks ago, traveling all the way from Indonesia as well. And they came here to the Surrey campus, and the student was especially interested in the physics from modern technology. And I got to show them the labs, where a lecturer and students were doing some experiments that I'm not really qualified or like well versed to talk about here, but it's so cool to see that in action. Another example I can give is the Bachelor of Mathematics. So again, I'll show you like why KBU is very job oriented. We offer several streams in mathematics. The first one would be math informatics. So think about combining math and biology. So students will have a unique blend of skills and knowledge so that they can work in healthcare. Like for example, like how to predict something, the chance of something happening, like how to predict COVID, for example, like the mortality rates or the spread rates or whatever. So those positions or those jobs require people who are very good at math because there's a lot of statistics to work with, but also someone who needs to have an understanding of the human biology and and other science or healthcare related knowledge, right? So the math informatics is really what that's for. Math biomatics, sorry, not informatics, right? Another stream for mathematics would be the math education. So if you want some students who are very clear on what they want to do as in the future as a teacher, you can introduce math education because after the program, they can easily go on to become a math teacher in Canada teaching K-12. And teachers make very good salary in Canada, right? Especially if they work for the public school systems, a great benefit, great salary, and it's a very fulfilling job as well. Yeah, so those are some of the examples that I can give you. The horticulture program is really unique at KBU as well. We are the only one offering that in Vancouver and BC as a whole. So if you have students who are more interested into working outside of a building or like in the office, they want to move around, they're the active type of person, you can introduce the horticulture programs to them. Think about golf course manager. Think about park, not like national park manager, right? So those programs require a knowledge. So not those programs. Those jobs require a knowledge of horticulture, like irrigation, like how to landscape, how to work with the green spaces. And these are all science, but it's just a lot more applicable than the other science, right? So for those who don't want to work in a lab or for those who don't want to, sit in the office all day, horticulture is a great option for them, right? Okay, so mindful of the time, I'm going to move on, even though there are more, I can talk more about these programs, but let's just move on. All right, so 80% of our programs, our undergraduate programs at KBU offer a work integrated opportunities, meaning cooperative education co-op talked about. For those who don't have co-op, especially if they do business, they have the option to do internship. And the internship at KBU is a special internship program because it is 100% paid internship because some internships are free and the students don't get to do professional work. They just make coffees or make photocopies or whatnot, answering the phone. Those are great skills to have as well because, let's admit it, we all make coffees in the office, but the important thing with the internship at KBU is that they will get to experience the professional work that is related to their studies, and it pays. The internship also is a part-time job, so it goes for 6 months, so the student can study and work part-time simultaneously, unlike the co-op where they have to stop their studies entirely and do co-op full-time. Besides that, there are a few school or practicum opportunities. We have a career office here, and the students just need to come to talk to them about what they want to do, and the career office people will definitely make recommendations on what they should do. The key here is that the students must take initiative. Our instructors are not only qualified academically, but they are working professionals because we want them to bring in the professional, work experience that they have and share it with the students. And that's very important in the polytechnic approach that KPU is employing. Our classrooms are small, maximum 35 students. So this means that the students have a better chance at connecting with their lecturers. And if they do that well, the lecturers will remember them, and who knows, right? Because the lecturers could be opening a lot of doors for the students once they graduate. Lecturers here at KPU are willing to introduce students to job opportunities, to their colleagues who are hiring, things like that, right? So it's a great way to connect with the teacher being in a small classroom. All right, so let's talk about admission. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about admission because every student is different, like depending on what curriculum they're doing, their grades, and all of that stuff. But for the general admission requirements into KPU undergraduate programs, we require completion of high school and proof of English proficiency. So that is a general admission for open intake programs. 90% of undergraduate programs at KPU are open intake programs. The limited intake programs are those who are a little bit more smaller, in terms of seat capacity, excuse me, but also they have extra requirements. So for example, design, besides the academic requirements and English, they need to submit a portfolio, they have to go to interview. So those are the extra requirements. So we call them limited intake programs. For the English part, we require IELTS of 6.5 with no band less than 6. So I think it's pretty standard among Canadian universities. For post-baccalaureate and graduate diplomas, we ask for completion of a bachelor's degree. It could be a 4-year degree, it could be a 3-year degree, as long as it's a recognized bachelor's degree, then we can take it. And also proof of English proficiency plus any other requirements. For example, personal statement, or some programs may have a GPA requirement, or the reference letters from the employers or from the academic lecturers from their previous institution. So it really depends on the program. So for those who do not meet the English requirements for open intake programs and some limited intake programs now, we do offer the pathway programs that I mentioned earlier in the presentation so that they can prepare themselves with, like the English upgrading and academic skills as well before they enter the main program. So how much does it cost, right? So at KPU, we offer the most affordable tuition fees for undergraduate programs. So we, of a large university, right? So at around 24,000 Canadian dollars a year for undergraduate programs. So if you talk about a 4-year bachelor's degree, it's just under $100,000 for 4 years, right? For post-baccalaureate program and graduate diplomas, because the structure of the credits is different, so it starts at about $14,000 a year for post-baccalaureate and graduate diploma, making them the least the most affordable programs in Metro Vancouver for post-bac and graduate diploma. We offer several ways for students to save, like for the zero textbook cost initiative. If the students study in art and the program is expanding to other faculty as well, they don't need to buy books. They don't need to buy textbooks, which can cost thousands of dollars a year, right? So they can save a lot on textbooks using the zero textbook cost program that we offer. Scholarship. So for scholarship, so there are international financial awards guaranteed for Indonesian students, and I'm talking about students who hold Indonesian citizenship. So basically, it's guaranteed. So it's $1,000 a year for the duration of the program. So if they take a 4-year bachelor's degree, they will be guaranteed a $4,000 international financial award. If they take a 2-year diploma program, they will guarantee $2,000. Besides the guaranteed international financial awards, they are welcome to apply to the other scholarship programs at KBU, namely the President's Scholarship, which is $30,000 a one-time payment, or they can apply to a less competitive scholarship, such as the Regional Entrance Scholarship, which is worth $5,000, and it is open only to international students. So it's a lot less competitive. The value is less, but it helps. Every little bit helps. Of course, we have a wide range of student support and resources. Here, I'll just talk about one thing on this slide, which is the Learning Center. I think it's very important for students to take advantage of all the benefits, all the support that the university gives them. So take Learning Center, for example. So this is basically free tutoring service for them. If they are struggling in their studies, or if they need someone to look over their essay or their report or their thesis, they can go to the library where the Learning Center is located, and then they can talk to a tutor, or they can talk to someone who is qualified to go through their writing, to improve, to make recommendations, or to just basically improve their writing. Or they go to the tutor to get help with academic courses, right? So, and all of these are free, but they need to take initiative, and they need to go get help if they need to, right? Because otherwise, no one knows that they need help. So we offer generally 3 intakes a year for most programs. Some programs only, one or twice a year, but for most programs, 3 intakes a year in September, in January, and in May. So right now we are accepting applications for January and May of next year. I know that this is not a common time for undergraduate students from Indonesia, but if you happen to have someone who fits, into these 2 intakes, feel free. And a great thing that I have not been able to put into the presentation is that from between now and the end of the year, KBU is waiving application fees for all students. So before, students have to pay $120 application fee without knowing whether or not they're going to be, admitted. But between now and the end of the year, that $120 application fee is waived. They just have to go online and submit an online application. And at the end, if they choose the no charge option at the payment option, they won't get charged, right? And we will process the application. Okay, I think that is it for the presentation today.
I would like to thank everyone once again for being here at this virtual session, and we look forward to meeting you again at the end of this month for the next virtual session with the University of New Brunswick, which is going to be held on Wednesday, July 24th. I believe most of you have already signed up for that event. And I also like to remind you that Study in Canada Fair is coming up this fall. Koi has already signed up. So he will be in Indonesia in October to meet with you in person. But again, I like to encourage you to maybe touch base with him first via email, and then you can follow up with an actual on-site meeting in October. So the Study in Canada Fair is going to be in Medan on October 20. I see quite a few of our guests today are from Medan and Batam area. So hopefully we'll see you in Medan on October 20. And we are also going to be in Surabaya October 26 and in Jakarta October 27. So thank you very much once again for being here with us at this virtual session. Thank you so much, Koi. It's definitely getting late out there. I think it's safe to go out there. I think the weather should be a lot cooler now.
Yes,
And
yes.
and I look forward to meeting you in person and welcoming you in Indonesia this October.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a
Thank you,
great day.
Wally. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.